How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Today we're working on the Audi again. It's been about a week since we last painted and cleared some of the parts. It's a little bit of a mess, but we should be able to just pull them all out and hopefully give it a good cut and buff and make it shine really well. So stick around. Enjoy. So I just sanded it down with a DA because if you guys can tell on camera, there's a little bit of orange peel. So I use the DA to get the majority of it, and then I'll wet sand by hand afterwards just so you can get close to the edges. You don't want to hit the edges close with the DA because then it just might burn through. This guy's our paint professional. Paint professional. Tell us, why is there orange peel? Why does that happen?
There's a few reasons why there's orange peel. One of them is the low air pressure in your gun because too low of a PSI. Another reason it can be is because your compressor does not produce enough CFM for your gun.
Do you think yours produced too little, or maybe it was just a settings issue?
It's just setting issues. Most of the time it just depends on the gun, which gun you use.
We're still learning, right?
Yeah, we're still learning on it, but yeah, I mean, for whatever the job is, it did pretty good.
Yeah.
But you can increase. It also depends on what type of clear coat that you use and how it just lays down.
Well,
it also depends on weather as well. If you use too medium reducer in a hot weather, it dries up too fast. But if you use low reducer or low hardener, it helps to lay it down and flatten. It takes time to flash.
yeah. Well, the work speaks for itself, and other than a little bit of orange peel, the paint laid down perfectly fine. There are no runs in any of the pieces, and I'll walk around and I'll show you guys later. So other than a little bit of orange peel, which just about every car, even from the factory, has, we're just going to come in, cut it down with some 2000 grit, and then polish it with some cutting compound, and then a nice jeweler's polish afterwards. So I got done sanding with the 2000. In the middle we had to hit it with a little bit of 1500 because it was pretty bad, but we got it pretty flat, and if you can see, all of the sanding is pretty uniform. That's what you want. There's a little bit of an example here for you. You see how it's shiny there? You have to hit that shiny spot, make it all uniform flat like this, otherwise what you're going to end up having when you cut it with compound is that texture will actually show up. So you want to cut that out and be able to flatten it, and then it'll end up looking like glass if you do it correctly. For an example of what we kind of start out with, it's kind of hard to see, but all that texture right there, that's orange peel, and what we want to do is actually flatten it down to the lowest part of these little divots, and that's what's going to get you that glass smooth finish. All right, bro, so what are we doing next?
So we, after all the sanding, we're gonna start buffing it out. And I'm gonna put a tape in the middle, and
so we can get that action 50-50 shot that everybody likes, yeah?
Yep, so we can see the difference.
All right, let's get it done, bro.
Here we go.
So we just saw a little glimpse of what you did. Walk us through what you're using and why. Because I said to use number 1 and 2 with a ultra cut compound. You told me that's dumb. We're going to use ultra cut compound with a 3 and then move on to a 4 with A205 Ultra Polish. And I was wrong because it came out good. Tell me why.
The reason I use 105 and 205 and I only use a 3 pad because it's not as the pad is not rough, so the scratch is not too big because we did it with 2000 with 1500, then we sent it down to 2000, so there's no need to use
too low of a grit.
Yeah, too low of a grit to cut it, because it actually doesn't need that much to cut.
And it's a pretty soft clear, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a pretty good clear. It's, you know, it's about 2 weeks old, so it's pretty fresh.
And that's just with the number 3 pad and a 105. So pretty good. Came out great.
Yeah,
we're gonna do the rest of it,
yeah,
and then we'll show you guys.
Yep.
So he just got done with his first run with the number 3 and the Ultra Cut. For some reason, I'm thinking that it's not cutting it the way we want it to cut. So instead of doing a 50-50 of it sanded,
not the 205, so wait until I do that one.
Okay,
then we'll see.
But until then, what we'll do is instead of a 50-50 shot of it just sanded, we'll try my method and then we'll see how it compares to his. So I just got done with my side, and he already says that it looks better, but there's a science behind it. So he was worried that maybe we didn't do a great job at prep work for the paint because he still sees a little bit of haziness, because he was pretty confident in his method. But realistically, the clear just needed a really deep cut, and now you can see the clouds right there. So that's that right there, and you can see that little bit of haziness. It looks like marks right there that you would get with sandpaper. And then here, nothing. And this is not perfect either. I would still go up the same way that he would, the 2, 3, and 4. But it's much less time to just do it with the number 1 cutting pad. Now, that doesn't mean that every car is the same. You can't just cut everything with the most abrasive pads and the most abrasive compound. A lot of cars, if you do that, or like if it's a single stage paint where the clear is mixed in with the color, if you do that, your whole pad's going to get contaminated within 1 or 2 strokes, and then it's just going to burn right through the paint. So we're just going to continue the rest, but I guess it's time for the money shot, man. What do you mean that's not a money shot? Just pull the tape off. Who doesn't like a 50-50? So there's sanded, there's number 3 pad with Ultra Cut, and there's number 1 with Ultra Cut. Pretty big difference. All right, guys, finished her up. That time lapse was only 1 minute and 28 seconds, but it was about 30 minutes worth of work. It takes a long time, and that's not including all the sanding. We got it pretty flat. This is after polish, compound and polish, third pad with ultra finish. It's looking pretty glossy. The clouds are looking pretty clear, and the tree, even though it's like 50 feet away, looks pretty good in the reflection. This hatch also came out really good. Check that guy out. Look at that reflection. Takes a while, but when it's finished, it comes out looking pretty spectacular. Look at that reflection. That's nice. And it's really, really, really flat. Came out good. So we're done for the day. We got everything else in the background done behind the scenes. Takes a while to polish. These detailers, they charge, the legit ones charge a lot of money, and there's a reason for it. To go through wet sanding it, then compound, then polish, then a jeweler's polish at the end of it to get that mirror finish. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time. You saw just one hood took 30 minutes to complete, and that's not including the sanding. What would you say is the most annoying part about polishing?
When you get all that compound everywhere.
Yeah,
When that
the
buffer
sling.
Just, yeah,
the
it just
sling
spits everywhere.
gets there. I look interesting, but it's worth it because it comes out looking really awesome.
Yep.
So next time you guys see the car, it's gonna start getting assembled, and then hopefully driving. So maybe one more video of it getting assembled, and then another video of it driving. It's gonna look sick. It's gonna look nice with the black roof, how we planned, and then hopefully got a little surprise fabrication that we're gonna attempt to do. We'll see how it turns out. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Anything for the good of the order, go ahead and leave it down below. Thanks, guys. Bye.